So Janet, you've had your judge's license for about 13 years now, and I think it would be great for us to hear some of your thoughts on judging, aside from your wonderful story you just told us about judging.
Oh, it is such a privilege and such a responsibility. And it's the only way I can have enough dogs. I've had my share of breeding with all the moving and the Navy quarters and apartments and the rentals and the like. I could never do what I really wanted to do. And to walk in the ring and look at all your hard work and late nights and look at all these dogs staying there. When they're in my ring, they're mine for those few short minutes. And we get to talk to them, each other. Not to you, but to the dog. It always seemed to me, judges that approach a dog without even saying hello, and then examine them in such an intimate manner, is impolite. And they need to have respect and consideration for what we ask of them.
I agree.
And I love them so much. And they are mine.
They are yours.
You get to take them home. But it is the ultimate learning experience, because to judge you must leave yourself behind. Form follows function. It was interesting that the first 8 specialties I was privileged to judge, and I only have roughs, I don't have smooths. I worked with Sandy Tuttle, and we were going to breed Arrowhead, Oklahoma Tribute's little sister to Black Hawk for body structure correction, which she badly needed. Beautiful face. But as Van Dyke told me one time when looking at one of my puppies, said, well, you can take the head in the ring, but you better leave the body behind. Well, as we were saying, form follows function, but we have 2 varieties. And even though they're judged by the same standard, they are unique in their own smooth, rough behavior, attitude, mind. Structure, not so much so. But the first 8 specialties that I was privileged to judge, the best to breed was a smooth. And I thought, I'm a rough person. How come? Both of them were excellent. You guys have privileged me with such beautiful entries. And then I thought, aha, character. The smooth is a cattle driving dog. The rough is a gathering dog. And is softer and doesn't have that dynamic performed presence. Presence is very interesting in the show ring, and it's not something that's contrived by a handler or by grooming or anything else. It is from the inside of the dog. And I want to tell you that in judging, I have a background of making decisions. We all make decisions, it's part of life. But I had some specific decisions to make in my profession. And at that point, the last 29 years of my 57 years of flying airplanes, I don't count. Not like. I gave flight tests in flight to pilots, private pilots who are allowed to carry a passenger if they pass, commercial pilots who are allowed to be paid for flying people in cargo, and airline transport pilots who are those people that you are sitting behind when you're going to the National. And I hope you understand that it's not how I fly an airplane. It's not my knowledge. It's what the standards are as printed, and we have printed standards: skill, knowledge, and performance. Private pilot, commercial pilot, airline transport pilot, and some of the jet type ratings. And I've given all those generally. As I viewed in the judging dogs, so I did in the airplanes. I'm I'm evaluating their skill, knowledge, and performance, including all the emergency procedures, in behalf of all of you as passengers, or those over whom they fly. It's the same thing with the dogs. And you know what's the biggest secret of all? If you can get out of your own bias, your own preferences, what you like, and just judge the standard, it's so energizing. You know, self really gets in the way of a lot of things in life. And aircraft have different functions. They're training planes, personal air transportation guys, commercial transportation, fighters and bombers, and what is a Collie? The Collie has two functions, driving and gathering. And now we cross-breed here. They do not in England, they do not in Europe, but we do here. And as a result, some of the real intensity of the differences in personality and in character are muted a little bit because you make it a softer smooth.
Right.
You make it a bossy rough. And it is so fascinating to watch those genes, roll of the genes as they walk in the ring. And nothing is ever lost. It goes round in cycles. And in fact, life is one big circle. As they told me at my FAA retirement ceremony, they said, well, she's gone back to the dogs. The dogs paid for the flying, now I pay for the dogs. Well, for 40 years I judged all breed matches, and I did a lot of ring stewarding because I love dog shows and I just like to work at dog shows. And I have had all the standards, I have all the standards of all the breeds, because it seems to me that when you look away from your breed and evaluate another breed according to that breed's standard form and function, you get a better appreciation for your own breed. But I never take ours for granted. This goes in the ring with me. So do all the AKC regulations. This is not to keep the AKC rep happy. This is to answer any questions that might come up, because all questions must be tied to the standard. And this is a wonderful standard. And no matter how many times you have to read it, you have to think about it, you have to study it, you learn something every time you look at it. And I never stop looking at it. And it is such a responsibility, because people breed to the winners and everybody wants to win. But I wish people that weren't winning, and most people won't because there's only so many ribbons. By that token, I love the Grand Champion program because we get to see dogs that finish, they come back again, you get to see how they evolve, and also you get to reward very deserving dogs when you run out of the first 3 place ribbons. So